Anyone familiar with the hip-hop industry knows that the biggest record label of all time is none other than Young Money. I mean, this record label produced some of the biggest rap artists we know today, such as Drake, Nicki Minaj, and Tyga. Young Money was established by Lil Wayne when he was at the height of his career. In fact, just before he started the record label, Lil Wayne had just sold 1 million copies of his album, The Carter 3, in the first week it was released. Fact check. Wayne is the last rapper to do so. But get this, instead of focusing only on pushing himself to the spotlight, he decided to create something that would bring other promising rap artists to the world. At first, Young Money was doing a fantastic job and was poised to be the top record label in the music game, with many heavy hitters and a few up-and-comers with major potential. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, and the label is all but closed down now, with much of its star power either leaving to form their own labels or moving on to get better record deals themselves. You can't even recognize any of the current artists still signed to the record label. So, what happened to Young Money? To answer that, in the 90s, Birdman Williams, owner of the record label Cash Money, discovered Lil Wayne and signed him to his company when Wayne was just 12 years old. Wayne grew with the company and remained with Cash Money even when all the original members of the record label had left due to money issues in 2005. By this time, Wayne was already set to become one of the biggest rappers in the world, and this was when he decided to create Young Money. So in 2005, Young Money was born, but it was established as an imprint of Cash Money, and so the profits made were split with 51% going to Cash Money and 49% going to Lil Wayne. Among the first artists signed to Young Money include Currency, Gudda Gudda, and Mac Main, and of these three, only Currency is still active. But the interesting thing is that Currency stayed with Young Money for a short period of time. He left shortly after he signed and dropped only a couple of songs. According to him, he left because he felt that the record label was not pushing his music as it ought to because Wayne was working hard to become the best rapper alive. Currency's situation is the same as what has happened, and is still happening with lots of artists in the industry. They take the first deal thrown to them without thinking that it might not just be the best idea. Now, even before Wayne founded Young Money, all the artists signed with Cash Money had a similar problem. When Birdman and his brother Slim established Cash Money, they signed a distribution deal with Universal Records, which allowed them to keep 85% of all royalties from the sales of all their music. This essentially meant that Cash Money kept all the profits made by their artists, and they were responsible for paying each artist what they were owed. However, Birdman was shady, and he somehow convinced the original artists with Cash Money to sign contracts where they barely saw anything from their profits. From Juvenile and BG to Turk and even their main producer, Manny all left Cash Money for the same reason. After Juvenile, who was the biggest artist in Cash Money, left the record label, he said that, "My reason to leave Cash Money is the same reason most artists leave a label money. I'm working like a slave, and I'm getting nothing. So I got an entertainment lawyer and found out Cash Money wasn't who they said they were." Manny Fresh and Turk also said something similar, with Turk even going further to sue Cash Money for $1.3 million owed to him in 2015. The interesting thing is that even Lil Wayne, Cash Money's superstar, tried to leave and sign with Jay-Z in 2005. However, it didn't work out, and he ended up negotiating his contract with Cash Money, and in the same year started his own record label, Young Money. Most of the original artists with Young Money didn't achieve much success, and they quickly left because Wayne was more focused on improving himself to become the best rapper alive. But as his popularity grew, more artists expressed interest in signing with Young Money. According to Jay Mills, who was one of Young Money's first members, Wayne wasn't actively searching to sign the next big artists. He was more focused on making music. Jay Mill also said, Wayne never wanted any artist to be signed to Young Money. He wanted them to be Young Money, like a group where everyone can express themselves and get deals. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way, because while Lil Wayne focused on music, Birdman, who was shady, took over the business and financial aspect of the record label, so Young Money's artists were having lots of issues, including money issues. It wasn't until 2009 that things began to pick up for Young Money. In that year, Mac Main, a former member of Young Money who had left, became the president of the label, and big artists including Drake, Nicki Minaj, and Tyga joined the company. No longer holding the reins as president, Wayne went on to become the most prolific hip-hop superstar, and together with the other artists, they came out with a collaborative album titled We Are Young Money, which really solidified the record label in the hip-hop world. As you can imagine, the album quickly skyrocketed Young Money's popularity and was a massive success. It charted 39 on the Hot 100 Billboard chart, and nearly every teenager in the US knew the lyrics of the song. Over the next few years, Wayne, Nicki, and Drake dropped albums that peaked at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, and they also went platinum. Unfortunately, things started to come apart for Young Money, and it was really bad because the label was built around family bonds. So, how did Young Money fall? We can categorically say that the biggest factor behind its fall was greed. Remember we said earlier that Cash Money was responsible for the business and financial side of the label, and if you also recall, we recounted how Birdman was shady in his dealings with the original artists in Cash Money. Well, the same way he treated his artists, refusing to pay them what they were owed, is the same way he treated the artists from Young Money. Several Young Money artists began to come out to call out Cash Money's shady dealings. One such artist was Tyga. Tyga spoke out in his songs and during interviews about not getting paid by Cash Money. During a Breakfast Club interview in 2017, he said that he received 0 royalties on his music and he was owed somewhere around $12 million. In addition to artists, multiple producers who had worked on the Carter 3 were not paid, and they also threatened to sue the label to receive money for their work. Founder of Young Money, Lil Wayne, also came out the following year in 2015 and announced a lawsuit against Cash Money. Even before that, in 2014, Wayne took to Twitter to publicly trash his label and Birdman, calling himself a prisoner. He said, "To all my fans, I want you to know that my album won't and hasn't been released because Baby and Cash Money Rec refused to release it. I want off this label and nothing to do with these people, but unfortunately, it ain't that easy. I am a prisoner, and so is my creativity. Again, I am truly sorry, and I don't blame you if you fed up with waiting for me in this album, but thank you." For Wayne to publicly blast his own label, that means there was a problem. It's not a surprise that Wayne and Birdman had a falling out which undoubtedly affected Young Money. Aside from the financial aspect, another reason why Young Money started to fall was because most of its artists were not given a chance to shine. Of course, Young Money produced some of the best artists in the industry, including Wayne, Nicki, Drake, and Tyga. However, the fact is that the label was so focused on getting Lil Wayne, Drake, Nicki, and Tyga out that they didn't have time to get Corey Gunz, Christina Milian, Euro, Flo, Gudda Gudda, Lil Twist, Lil Chucky, Boo, Glasses Malone, Jay Mills, Kid Kid, or Omarion's album out. Lil Twist once tweeted in 2014, "I swear I gotta have the worst management team in the history of management teams. Like, wow, this shit crazy. All I want to do is drop music." Wayne saw something in all of these artists, and that's why he brought them in. But having all of them under record deals and not doing anything with them is probably one of the main reasons that Young Money went down. What do you think? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video.